It's it's fascinating to see how the Terry Funk thing comes to be. He wrote in his book, Jim Ross, the great announcer who would come to the WWF and had become Vince's right-hand man, was the one who gave me the call. I'm pretty sure Cactus had promoted to him and Vince the idea of us working together, but hell, if they didn't want me at all, they wouldn't have called. I'm sure you were tickled to be able to pick up the phone and call Terry Funk. How does this whole character come to be? Because we know he's not just coming back as Terry Funk. I guess if Cactus is doing all these different personas, he wants to do one too. Chainsaw Charlie is what we're going to get. What do you remember of all this?
Well, I think I'm not going to be surprised, and I can't tell you anything otherwise that was Terry's idea to be Chainsaw Charlie. I think Chainsaw Charlie was a creation of Terry Funk's creativity.
Yes.
You know, who the hell else would have come up with a Chainsaw Charlie with what did he wear, a nylon stocking over his face?
Yes, with baby powder.
Yeah, that's Terry. But when you get a talent like Terry Funk, first of all, for me as a lifelong fan, and as somebody that had refereed Terry Funk's matches in the 70s, because Cowboy brought him in as a bounty hunter in a big program in Mid-South, and I refereed some of those matches, and he was unbelievable in those days. As good as I ever saw, And so heavy heeled, wasn't afraid of heat, and great promos that were real. They weren't, just outlandishly over the top to where you roll your eyes and say, "Oh shit, here's one of those wrestling promos." He was just tremendous. But I think he came up to Chainsaw Charlie. But for a guy like me that's been a fan all his life and been around Terry for, multiple decades, it was an honor to have a job that I could call him and say, we want to hire you.
Right.
I got work for you if you're interested. And of course he was interested. He loved Mick and all of us older guys. And I read about it every day. When's JR going to quit? When's JR going to get off the air? Well, I ain't got no timeline on this thing. I know when my agreement with Tony Khan is up, but does that mean I'm not going to continue? No. Does that mean that I'm going to, at that point, make make the final decision that, hey, I've had enough. I'm tapping.
Right.
I'm going to work less hours. I'm going to work less travel. I'm not going to fly every week. Whatever it may be, it's still to be determined. But the older you get, you don't pass up on those opportunities. And Terry, I think, was that way. He wanted to make the paydays. He got him back on TV. He got to be around the boys who loved him. It's like Uncle Terry. And he was so good and so helpful in the locker room. That's the benefit you get out of a guy like Terry Funk that you don't out of a lot of other guys that you could bring in that were less experienced and less motivated. Terry was always very motivated. He wanted to steal the show and he wanted to work main events and by God, he deserved it. So I was really lucky to be in that role to be able to bring him in and it's like hiring one of your heroes.
Right.
It's like hiring Mickey Mantle to be the DH.
That'll work.
So that kind of illustration is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. But anyway, it was a great time. I always enjoyed working with him. The only thing he had to do with Terry was sometimes settle him down because he was too wild. He took too many unnecessary chances. And but God bless him for his spirit and his character and his integrity. I think about him a lot. It's this very day, a lot.